Hello, television family. Good to see you again. We're back. It's Thursday, 20th day of February, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. As you see behind me, it's a beautiful morning up in Lake Wenatchee. They don't nearly have the fog that we have here. It's pretty dense fog right now in the Wenatchee Valley. It's really only affecting us and the folks who live close to the body of water that we like to call the Columbia River. I was just checking the DOT cameras out in the basin because usually it's the Columbia Basin, the Moses Lake, Quincy, Ephrata, Ritzville kind of ribbon of highway and towns and communities there that deal with the dense fog because of the topography, but they're okay. They're not bad. We got some pretty thick fog, gonna burn off, gonna see some sunshine, and our long streak of seeing our daily high temperature below normal is probably gonna come to an end today. Our forecast high is 43, our normal high is 43. As you know by now, we've gone 17 days in a row without our daily high temperature getting to normal. Oftentimes it was well below normal. We're going to go from well below normal to well above normal. By the time we get to the weekend, it's going to be wet. A lot of rain is in the forecast this weekend. We'll get to all of those details right out of the box. That's usually the priority, and it always is. The weather is the one thing that kind of affects everybody. News, yes. Sports, yes. Quite a bit of sports. Wenatchee Wild got to start winning. They really need to start winning, and they got to start winning this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that. Thursday, pause for pets. We have two bunnies that need a home. Ben and Jerry, all of a sudden I want ice cream. They're little bitty bunnies, and they're kind of together. So if you're going to adopt one, you're going to adopt the other. We'll check in with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And tonight at the Red Lion Hotel, our media partners, the Wenatchee World, will present their annual Community Impact Awards. We have all of the videos that we put together for them to show for you in the back half of the hour, including one you haven't seen yet. Our friends from the NCW Libraries, also Sasha Slayman, also our good friend Tony Sandoval, who's going to be getting a Community Impact Award, and Teresa Bendito, all well deserving. The awards are tonight. I believe tickets are still available. I'm not sure. You have to go to the Wenatchee World's website for that. But anyway, busy show today. We like busy. We like busy a lot. Two slides to show for you. First of all, foggy, yeah, very foggy. In the Wenatchee Valley. One of the first things I do when I get up in the morning, when I step outside, is can I see the cross? If I can't see the cross at the tip of Wenatchee Heights and it's very, very brightly lit, then I know we got some low clouds and fog, and we have some low clouds and fog. Pretty poor visibility. In some locations, again, other locations, it's not bad at all, and it will be burning off. The clouds and the fog will eventually depart because the days are getting longer. Sunrise this morning has already happened. It happened 6 minutes ago at 6:57. Sunset tonight, 5:33, 10 hours and 36 minutes of daylight. That's 3 minutes and 17 seconds longer than it was yesterday. So we will see the fog burn off. We'll see some sunshine later on this afternoon. No real sunshine, however, on Friday. And then Saturday is when we start seeing the rain, and it's going to warm up. Here's slide number 2. This may look familiar from yesterday. Big time warming trend and a lot of rain, and that snow's got to go someplace, and what it does is go downhill. So my science teacher told me. So get ready for some pretty wet weather, pretty cloudy weather right through the weekend. There's a big ridge of high pressure off the California coast. It's grabbing a bunch of warm and wet air, and it's shoving it right up to our direction, and that's why we are in for some pretty wet weather this weekend. Snow level is going to be well above pass level. Even the passes and the mountain resorts, the ski resorts, are going to see some snow melt this weekend as well, so get ready for that. From the National Weather Service, here we go. The fog and the clouds will be hanging around, then the sun will get its job done, and we'll see some sunshine by this afternoon. Could be even late morning. And 43, our afternoon high. It's been a long, long time since we hit 43 degrees. Patchy fog reforms tonight. The clouds will be rolling back in. 30 for the overnight low. Sunshine, nope, not tomorrow. And a high of 37. There's a slight chance of rain Friday. I don't think it's going to happen. Chance of rain Friday night hovers right around 30%. The clouds are going to keep us warm. 33 for the overnight low. And then rain, mostly in the afternoon hours on Saturday. The rain is going to be Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning should be dry, but there's the warming trend we're talking about. On Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we bump up a few degrees each day into the 50-degree mark. On Monday, we have not hit 50 or seen 50 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley since mid-November. That is going to change. All right, when we come back, the news, because it's next on the block. The news is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
After 60 years, this President's Day is the last and final President's Day ever for Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. We're going out of business. All fine furniture must be sold immediately. Now through President's Day, extra discounts will be in effect store-wide. Prices slashed even lower than our already low liquidation prices. It's the President's Day sale to beat all President's Day sales. Everything is in stock and ready to go. Take it home today or take fast delivery. Our last and final President's Day ever at Crown Furniture. After 60 years closing the doors and going out of business forever.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Pretty dense fog right now in the Wenatchee Valley. It'll burn off. We'll see temperatures in the lower 40s with some sun breaks. Pretty cloudy Friday, very cloudy, and some hit and miss rain right through Monday with considerably warmer temperatures coming our way. Almost 8 minutes after the hour, a property owner of number 1 Canyon here in Wenatchee who has been waging court battles with neighbors and Chelan County over excavation work. Well, he's now being sued for work he did on a different property that he owns in South Wenatchee. Joshua and Caitlin Winger has sued Tyler Chambers. They did so on Friday in Chelan County Superior Court. They're alleging that excavation work he did in 2022 on his property on Christina Lane destabilized an embankment that leads down from their property on Duke Street. The suit alleges that in January of 2024, a garden fence on their property collapsed down the embankment, also left a concrete pad on their property unsupported and cracked. The Wingers say Chambers has a duty to provide lateral support for the embankment, and the couple seeks to recover the cost of the damages done as well as attorney's fees. Chambers has not yet filed a response. Of course, Chambers has been issued stop work orders on the 66-acre property that he was excavating up number 1 Canyon after complaints from neighbors and county officials that Chambers had filed insufficient wildlife and other mitigation plans for the scope and excavation of the work he was doing. Chambers, by the way, was scheduled to appear yesterday afternoon before the Chelan County hearing examiner over his appeal of the county's environmental requirements for the work he's been doing up number 1 Canyon. The former fire chief of Grant County Fire District number 4 allegedly forged signatures to steal more than $30,000 to support a gambling addiction. Kevin Whitaker was placed on unpaid leave back in November. He's later left the district in Warden, while the Grant County Sheriff's Office investigated financial improprieties. Well, yesterday, the Sheriff's Office said it was forwarding its findings to the prosecutor's office for multiple potential criminal theft and forgery charges. Detectives reported finding that Whitaker forged signatures of the district secretary and the fire commissioners on more than 150 times since he was hired in 2022 to access and steal money from the district's accounts. Pioneer Park will see some sidewalk and accessibility improvements. later on this year. According to our media partner, the Wenatchee World, the Wenatchee City Council approved a $228,000 construction bid last week with Pipkin Construction out of East Wenatchee. The project will fill a sidewalk gap along Fuller Street that currently ends abruptly. It'll add ADA parking spaces and several new paved paths will connect features in Pioneer Park. The Wenatchee World says future plans for the park also include replacing the light poles in the park and adding a group picnic shelter. The project will be completed no later than Memorial Day weekend. That's before the pool opens adjacent to Pioneer Park. Chelan County Commissioners updated the short-term rental code last week, over a year after the county code was open for updates. According to our media partner, the Wenatchee World, Chelan County enforces a code on the permitting and operation of around 800 short-term rentals. Short-term rentals are homes rented for 30 days or less. The latest changes aim to simplify the code and target points that had come up since the code was originally adopted in 2021. One update says fire marshal inspections should occur every other year after the permit is approved, but the code recommends operators use a provided checklist to ensure they are up to standard on the off years when inspections don't happen. The annual My Girlfriend's Closet fundraising event will return to Wenatchee. It's always held in March, and it's going to have a ticketed pre-sale event. The shopping event is hosted by the Women's Service League of North Central Washington. It sells donated items such as clothes and shoes and purses to raise money for local nonprofits and scholarships. This year's My Girlfriend's Closet will be held at the old Big Lot store in Old Station the weekend of March 14th through the 16th. A pre-sale event will take place March 13th. That way people can grab items before they are available to the general public. Tickets for the pre-sale event are $40 per person. They will be available on the Women's Service League website starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And state wildlife officials say a three-legged deer that they spotted during their annual deer surveys in eastern Washington this season appears to be just fine. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife said a biologist spotted the deer with the missing leg through a scope and appears to be fully capable of taking care of itself. Agents sometimes intervene in cases such as when an animal has an arrow embedded in its body, or a deer or a moose or an elk gets tangled in a fence or something along those lines. But in this case, the deer was allowed to continue on with its business. And that is the news at 13 minutes after the hour. It's been a busy news week for the crew in the newsroom, and today will be no exception. So if you want to know what's going on around here, take a little time this afternoon or tonight to watch the evening news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV right here on this station, 5, 6, and 10. If that doesn't work in your schedule, no big deal. If you watch your television via the internet, got you covered. Our news will be up and running just before 5 o'clock on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and I'm pointing at my fingers with the blue pen for reasons I don't know. If you're out and about and you see something that might be newsworthy, don't hesitate, send us an email. Love to hear from you. news@ncwlife.com. Sports, the Obscura holiday, some celebrity birthdays, today in history, an opinion from my Mad Dog Minotti, Paws for Pets, and the videos highlighting this year's Community Impact Awards. All on the way. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710. Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes, and make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
16 minutes after the hour in sports, the Washington Huskies and the Rutgers men's basketball teams had never met before last night in Seattle. Neither team led by more than 6 points, but the Scarlet Knights outscored the Dogs 8-4 in overtime, and they pull out the win 89-85. The teams combined for 2 of 15 shooting in overtime. Couldn't make a bucket, but Rutgers made 8 of 12 from the free throw line, and the Knights outscored Washington for the free throw line 26-9. And at Pullman, the first sellout crowd in 15 years saw Gonzaga take the lead about 5.5 minutes into the game, and they never relinquished it. The score was 50-28 at halftime, 84-63 when the final horn sounded. As you see there, Haley Van Lith scored 10 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, dished out 7 assists as the 10th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs dominated Arizona State in Tempe. The final there, 82-66. Pretty light schedule on the men's college basketball hardwood today. Just one game of note. Eastern Washington University will be in northern Colorado. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. I can't. I don't have it. But the women's schedule is considerably busier. Northern Colorado will be at Eastern Washington at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Rutgers will be at Washington at 6 o'clock on the Big Ten Plus network. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Cougars play host to San Francisco in Pullman, 6 o'clock tonight. And the Lady Gonzaga Bulldogs welcome St. Mary's to town at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus. All right, high school basketball. The District 5 tournament continues tonight. Davis will play at West Valley at 6 o'clock for the championship. The winner goes on to state. The loser of the Davis and West Valley game will take on the winner of Eisenhower and Moses Lake, which is also at 6 o'clock tonight. That game will be on Saturday for one last chance at state. In the girls 4A District 5 tournament, West Valley and Davis played actually last night for the championship. The final score, check this out, Davis 100, West Valley 25. So Davis is on their way to state. Eisenhower will play at Eastmont tonight at 6 o'clock. And again, you know how it works by now. We know West Valley will take on the winner of the Eisenhower-Eastmont game on Saturday for one last shot at state. Smaller schools, the boys 1A District 5 tournament continues today. Wapato will take on Keona Benton in Wapato in a loser-out game. Cashmere at Chelan. You remember the old Caribou Trail League rivals? Where are they going to play again? Up in Chelan at 7:30 tonight. The winner of that game goes on to state. The loser still has a chance to make the state. They'll play a crossover game over the weekend. In the girls 1A tournament continues today. Cascade will be at Chelan at 6 o'clock in a loser-out game. Wapato will take on Natchez Valley at the same time down there near Yakima. The winner of that game goes on to state. The loser will have one more shot at state in a crossover game at District 6 over the weekend. All right, as far as the boys 1B is concerned, that's going to be at Wenatchee High School right through the weekend. Tonight, it's Soap Lake versus Orville at 8 o'clock in the smaller gym in a loser-out game. The Waterville-Mansfield boys will take on the Moses Lake Christian boys in the big gym at 8 o'clock for the championship and a trip to state. And the District 1B girls tournament, again, being held at Wenatchee High School right through the weekend. Tonight, Soap Lake will take on Wilson Creek in a loser-out game in the small gym at 6 o'clock. At the same time, in the main gymnasium, it is Pateris and Waterville-Mansfield girls for the championship at 6 o'clock and a shot at state. Well, the Wenatchee Wild, they have put themselves in a bind. If they want to reach the playoffs in the Western Hockey League for the second year in a row, they got to start winning. And they got to start winning starting Friday with Seattle. They're chasing Seattle for that 8th and final playoff spot. Seattle, of course, beat the Wild 4-0 last Sunday at the Town Toyota Center. The Wild will then travel to Portland on Saturday. They'll host Vancouver on Sunday. Austin Andrade dropped by this very program on Tuesday morning, and he told me that Wenatchee needs to win, and they need to win now.
The playoff picture will be told a lot by what happens over this weekend. There's no doubt. The games against Portland, the games against Vancouver, those are big win games for the Wild. Even if they go to overtime, a 3-point game is a 3-point game. The chase is right now is not against Portland. The chase right now is not against Vancouver. If they take it to overtime and we still get the win, so be it. But the game against Seattle, that cannot be a 3-point game. The Wild need to get that one coming up on Friday night.
Right now, the Wenatchee Wild are in 10th place. They're behind Kamloops and Seattle for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. In the last month, Wenatchee is 2-11, with 7 of those losses being games where they scored first but couldn't hold the lead. And Austin told me it's a matter of finishing the game.
It's crunch time for these guys right now. Just being able to hang on to a lead in the third period and pick up those 2 points. That's been a big thing for us here lately. We've gotten close. We've gotten some points out of the recent games, but we haven't gotten the 2 that we're looking for of late. I like the response from the guys when we would give up a goal. We scored the first couple goals, got one of them on the penalty kill. Just Ty Spencer just took the puck and decided to run off with it and deposited it. But every time they would score, we'd come back with a response. We'd build that lead back to a couple of goals. I really like the way the guys responded in those moments on Friday night, but we did it a few too many times, I think, and we never got that goal at the end that we really needed.
And again, the Wenatchee Wild take on Seattle at home on Friday. They'll be on the road in Portland on Saturday, back home on Sunday to take on the Vancouver Giants, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. It's 22 minutes after the hour. Among the obscure holidays you're more than welcome to celebrate on this February 20th. It is National Cherry Pie Day. That sounds good. National Muffin Day. It's National Comfy Day today. National Handcuff Day. If you're into the handcuffs, well, today's your day. But no, today is National Love Your Pet Day. There is no National Hate Your Pet Day. I checked. There's no such thing. Do you love your pets? My guess is if you have a pet, you do, or you wouldn't have one. Some interesting statistics. The number of households that own a pet, this is in millions, in this country. 60 million households have at least one dog. 47 households have at least one cat. 12 million households have at least one freshwater fish. 8 million households have pet birds. 5 million households in this country have a reptile or 2. And about 2.7 million households have horses. Used to have horses. Don't have them anymore. So that's the households. How about the animals themselves? This is the number of animals owned in this country. Not the ones that are just running around wild or whatever. This is it. There are 140 million freshwater fish owned in this country. I mean, you can put a bunch of fish in a tank. That makes sense. There are 94 million cats that are owned by somebody, 90 million dogs, 20 million birds, 19 million saltwater fish, about 10 million reptiles, about 7.7 million horses that are actually owned by a person in this country. Of course, owning a pet has any number of advantages. It will lessen the chance of developing allergies. It strengthens your immune system, especially if you're a kid. If you're hanging around pets, it's good for you. It's good for your heart. It's good for your fitness levels. I mean, you got to walk the dog, right? And it just makes you feel good to take care of something that is entirely reliant upon you to be taken care of. National Love Your Pet Day today. I got my pet rock. I feed it every day. 24 minutes after the hour, today in history, happy 153rd birthday to the largest and most visited museum in this country. It is spectacular. It is the Metropolitan Museum of Art in Central Park in New York City. It opened its doors February 20th, 1872. Anytime anybody tells me, hey, I'm heading to New York, have you ever gone to the Metropolitan Museum of Art? I tell them, you got to do the Met. You could do an entire week in New York City and go to the Met every day. It is a spectacular museum, there's no question about it. Admission was free to everybody until March of 2018, and they had some budgetary issues. So if you're an out-of-town visitor to New York City, it costs you $30 to get into the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is still worth it. If you live in New York State, it's pay as much as you want. You still have to pay to get in, but you can pay as little as a penny to get in if you're a resident of New York State. Happy birthday to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I've been there a couple of times, and I have barely scratched the surface. February 20th, 1962, 63 years ago today, aboard Friendship 7, John Glenn becomes the first American to orbit the Earth. He made 3 orbits. It took him 4 hours and 55 minutes, about 5 hours to do it. Of course, the Soviets had already done this twice, but we finally got caught up to him. Here's my question. If you're stuck in a capsule, lift off, orbiting, and then back down again, and it took over 5 hours, how does one relieve oneself? I suppose you just don't. John Glenn becomes the first American to orbit the Earth and became an American hero 63 years ago today. And if you all remember the old emergency broadcast system, it was replaced in the late 90s by what we have now, the emergency alert system, the nationwide system that allows people to be informed immediately of an impending disaster or national emergency. It was before the emergency alert system, it was the emergency broadcast system. And 54 years ago today, the emergency broadcast system is accidentally activated on a national emergency alert. It was supposed to be a test, the weekly test. You've seen that. The following is a weekly test of the emergency broadcast system. This was an actual emergency, blah, blah, blah. Well, the operator on Saturday morning, February 20th, 1971, put the wrong tape in. He put the tape that was supposed to be used in case of an actual national emergency and not the test. It took 40 minutes before they figured it out. Most radio and television stations ignored the alert altogether because they were told in advance that the weekly test is going to happen on Saturday morning, February 20th, so they didn't think it was the real thing. Other stations never got it at all, and stations that did get the erroneous alert didn't follow the procedures. That's why we don't have it anymore. Birthdays at 27 minutes after the hour. One celebrity birthday is the legendary Sidney Poitier, the first African-American to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. In Lilies in the Field, he was fantastic. In the Heat of the Night, a great humanitarian, the great Sidney Poitier, acting legend. Born in this state 98 years ago today. We lost him, 3-4 years ago at the age of 94. Living legends, the round mound of rebound. Charles Barkley is 62 years old today. He's in the National Basketball Association and Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame, and on merit. Sidney Crawford is 59. Sidney Crawford graduated high school as the valedictorian, #1 in her class, and then she got a scholarship to go to Northwestern University to study chemical engineering. She went to Northwestern University for 1 semester, then she dropped out and became a model. So she is really, really smart. She's really pretty, and she's 59 years old today. Happy 42nd birthday to one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Justin Verlander. He's 42. He is the only player in Major League Baseball history to win multiple World Series championships, the MVP, the Rookie of the Year, and 3 Cy Young Awards. He just signed a 1-year contract with the Giants for $15 million. And oh, by the way, he's married to Kate Upton. Life is good for Justin Verlander, who's 42 years old today, and who is the wealthiest female musician of all time, not Justin Verlander. That, my friends, is Robin Rihanna Fenty. You know her as Rihanna. She is the wealthiest female musician of all time. She's worth $1.4 billion. She's also the second best-selling female music artist of all time, behind just Madonna. And her name is not Justin Verlander. Live television, folks, we work without it. Oh, and happy birthday to my brother Mark. He celebrates a milestone today. He knows how old he is. We'll leave it at that. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. I've talked about the Cash for Clunkers program. How did your heating system handle the cold snap that's about ready to come to an end? If it didn't do so good, your first call Alpine Air. Maybe it's time to switch the whole thing out. You might get a big fat rebate for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. The Wenatchee World is hosting their annual Community Impact Awards tonight at the Red Lion Hotel. Tickets, I believe, are still available. We put together the videos, and when I mean we, I mean somebody else. Those videos and those tributes to those people who are going to be getting awards tonight is coming up. But first things first, Ben and Jerry, the bunny wabbits, need a home. It's Paws for Pets.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I'm the foster care coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And with me this week is Jerry and her brother Ben. They came to the shelter as an owner surrender, and since they've been here, they've been very sweet. Ben loves his snacks and comes up to the front of the kennel to get what we lovingly call Cheerios. They're little alfalfa rings. And Jerry here, a little less food motivated, but she's still very sweet. She lets me pick her up and carry her around. She kind of falls asleep in my arms most days. Ben is also good with being picked up and carried around. He does prefer exploring a little bit more than Jerry does, but Jerry also has an adventurous side. They are not a bonded pair and they do not have to go together. The process to bond them would probably take a while. So if that's something you are willing to do, then by all means, but they are not required to go home together. They're sweet little baby buns who would make an adorable pet for, someone who wants a couple of indoor bunnies in their lives. So bunnies, they will need space to roam around. They're pretty playful, they like running, they like exploring. These two are well on their way to being litter box trained, so they can continue that training in a home environment, and once they're litter box trained, they will go back to their box for potty breaks, so that does help with people who decide to free roam their bunnies in the house. Their diet mainly consists of hay and rabbit food. I believe it's an alfalfa timothy mix, but I could be wrong. They love munching on, fruits and vegetables, but those should be small, limited snacks and not their entire diet. Bunnies make really good companions. They're sweet, they're personable, they like playing with people. If you would like to meet Ben and Jerry, you're more than welcome to come on down to the shelter to meet them. We are open every day except for Wednesday, and we'd be more than willing to help you find a little bunny for your home.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Special Olympics Washington Winter Games returns to the Wenatchee Valley for the 35th year, the weekend of February 28th. 900 volunteers are needed to assist more than 1,200 participants and coaches throughout its 3-day run. From assisting on the slopes of Mission Ridge to keeping score at basketball games, no special skill is required. To volunteer, please visit the website on the screen.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. 16 of the Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and Epicurean delights. With 4 unique winery tracks and 5 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure, so don't wait. Tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. So you're at work, and it's your break time, and you just need a few minutes to decompress, and you open up Microsoft Solitaire, a game that's been on Windows for who knows how long. And, you know, but before you can play a simple solitaire game, some stupid ad comes on for another game you have no interest in playing, or for some drug that you can't take because you're allergic to it, or an ad for a vacation in Texas, which is the last place anybody on earth would want to go. But there's also a link to remove the ads for only $2 a month. You know, my question to Bill Gates is this: Yo, Bill, how much money do you need? How much do you want to soak me for? Yeah, you really want to hit me for an extra $2 a month just so I can play a cheesy game that comes with an operating system that you're already charging me a rental fee for? I mean, come on, enough is enough. Jeez, how much money do some people need? This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
I think broadly the library is a place that anyone can come, and we want to really be thinking about our mission and especially the way that we provide something really vital in our communities. The library district is really broad. We have 30 locations over a 5-county area. So we have the library in Wenatchee, of course, but then also really far-flung, teeny tiny libraries with maybe 1 staff member in communities where there's not much else. So being able to provide a space that has really great access to engaging programming, great collections, computers, technology help, and a really highly qualified staff member who can help folks navigate the world.
There's a lot happening at the Wenatchee branch, and a lot of it happens in the building itself, but so much of it actually happens outside of the library. I think a lot of people don't realize how much of our work takes place outside of library buildings. So we have staff that do regular visits to youth who are at the Chelan County Juvenile Detention Center, just trying to connect those youth with resources and reading materials while they're being detained. We have done some pretty intense partnership work, especially around immigration and citizenship. So I don't know if you're aware, we actually had USCIS come during the summer, and they were here for 3 days, and they did interviews. We actually had an oath ceremony for, I think, 8 people who naturalized during that event. Just, you know, again, really trying to think about what folks in the community need and then responding accordingly.
Thinking about how we can leverage what we're doing in our communities to make a bigger impact is really important. Thinking about what regional partnerships can we develop, how can we look at what other folks are doing in their communities and then work together to elevate everybody's effort. Our operating budget is small, it's tight, so figuring out how we can maximize the resources that we do have to, partner with others to all kind of do more together is something that we're always trying to do more of. And then I would say also our Reimagining Spaces project. So we're renovating the interiors of all of our libraries, and that work will continue into this next year. We have a couple of really exciting projects underway, and that's really exciting to me because with each library update that we're able to do, we really do a lot of community engagement. So it's an opportunity for the local staff to go out into the community and find out who's not using the library and what they would want in that space, and then who is using the library and what they want in that space. And some of these spaces are only, a couple thousand square feet, so we really have to figure out how to make it do a whole lot of things for a whole lot of people. But the ones that we've finished so far have turned out beautifully, and it's been really fun to see. When we think about resources that a library offer, obviously people have this nostalgic idea of a room filled with books, all the best books, and that libraries are really for readers, but that's not what we're all about. It's a really important part of what we do, but we're really about providing a wide variety of resources for all kinds of people and all kinds of learners, so when you go into your library, you should be able to feel like the world is a big and vast and exciting place, and that you have a place in it and you can learn about so many different things. And so I think we always want to be aiming for how can we reflect the communities we serve, how can we be providing programming that's relevant to folks, but then how can we help other community members also connect with what's relevant to their neighbors and friends or folks in their community that they don't engage with very much. So really being a place where everyone can come together, learn from each other, and just get excited that, the world is a vast place.
Housing is a basic need. We all need a roof over our heads, a place to shower, a place to lay our heads at night. And when I moved home at the end of 2018, early 2019, I had been living in New York where housing is a huge issue. Very hard to find a place to live that's remotely affordable. You have to live with a lot of people. And I was shocked when I got back, and I couldn't afford an apartment on my own. Whether you're have a fixed income because you're on Social Security or whether you're working full time, it's hard to make ends meet. And so I started looking at that and kind of paying attention to it and realized this is something I want to be involved in and really make a dent in. I'm the executive director for the Housing Authority of Chelan County and City of Wenatchee. And in that position, I oversee a team of 33 plus me, so 34 people across 23 properties across both Chelan and Douglas County. We have the Housing Choice Voucher Program, which is colloquially known as the Section 8 voucher program, so rental assistance to landlords to help keep assisted or rent lower for folks. The HUD-VASH program, which is a rental assistance program for veterans, and then the FSS program, which is kind of like a savings account for folks who are on Section 8 programs, and it's a really great way to help people save some of their money that's extra after their rent and then put that back for them to use later. For as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in politics, policy. I think when you're a teenager, you don't think of it as policy, but my dad is an immigrant from Lebanon, so government is very different there, and so I've always had this interest in this. I, in high school, got the opportunity to shadow Senator Parlett and over in Olympia, and that turned me on to just how policy is made, why it's so important to be involved, why it's important to vote, and showed me that policymaking's quite local. When I was first thinking about what to do, that's where I saw the best ability to help people. Obviously, there are probably better ways to help people, like being an actual social worker or being a doctor or anything else. But on a larger scale, like, people don't love politics, but there's politics in everything. You need policies to change, to be structured, to help better your community. So on a larger scale, I felt like that's kind of what I could do. quite a few goals now that I'm at the Housing Authority, and it's such an amazing agency that does so much. So what can we do going forward to be a better resource for folks? So working on getting started on some strategic planning at the agency, growing as a leader. This is a really big role for me. I've done a fair amount of managing throughout my career, but this is a big one. So learning the job, learning the ins and outs of everything that the Housing Authority does probably is the next big thing. Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
After 60 years, this President's Day is the last and final President's Day ever for Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. We're going out of business. All fine furniture must be sold immediately. Now through President's Day, extra discounts will be in effect store-wide. Prices slashed even lower than our already low liquidation prices. It's the President's Day sale to beat all President's Day sales. Everything is in stock and ready to go. Take it home today or take fast delivery. Our last and final President's Day ever at Crown Furniture. After 60 years closing the doors and going out of business forever.
This will continue to live on, because I think that's what is the beauty of a lot of these organizations, is that, that someone can be there, have an impact, do work, and also create and open doors for others as well. What has motivated me to be so passionate about doing this work is knowing that my family, my parents came here over 30 years ago with absolutely nothing, and that they worked really, really hard in whether it's agriculture. I saw them work long hours. When my mom was able to open up a cleaning business, she worked again really hard work. And still we've seen them, struggle to make ends meet. And they had all of these, extra struggles, extra limitations, that didn't stop them. Then I should be able to do that as well. So Rural People's Voice is a newer organization. It's a 501c4. And what we believe to the core is that what we want is an economy that works for all. So what we believe will help us get there is a couple of different things, but one of them, and it's the work that I'm specifically working on, is organizing. There's not a lot of already electoral organizing infrastructure here in North Central Washington and typically in rural communities, and that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to really bring people from across different races, classes, and just parts of walks of life to really say, these are the things that we really want and deserve for our families, but it shouldn't mean that we have to, choose between getting the food that we need or the insurance we need. We also are supporting candidates to build a government that really works for us, and we know that that will happen when we have more working class families and people in those positions, because they have skin in the game. You don't need, a big fancy title to do amazing work in this community, and that it can be anyone who's passionate enough to do that work. This work is really a reflection of our strength and perseverance and our vision for a community that we really love and want to see continue to thrive. I would really encourage more people to take their part, and volunteer or show up. That we need more people, and for folks who can, to give an opportunity to those young people who might be newer or don't have as much experience than you in those, whether it's at work or through volunteerism. believing in young people and giving them opportunities is so important. I know that that was one of the main reasons why, you know, I'm here today, is because I was given an opportunity to be a community organizer at 19 when I was at community college, and I was also serving, to being able to have someone to trust me enough that I know my community because I was born and raised here, to be able to help bring people together. That I think there are so many more people out there that really just need that opportunity for someone to believe in them and to help guide them a little bit, so that we can continue to have more leaders in this community.
So once we exited the military, that just became something that was ingrained in us, to not look for any sort of assistance in the things that we do. We should just know how to deal with the VA, which is a huge government program, right? We should just know how to get back into education programs. We should, because we're a veteran, we should get the stuff, and it doesn't really work that way. And so if we don't have the ability to seek and ask and follow through with getting some help seeking, then we're not going to be successful most of the time. I was in the U.S. Army in combat vet, and they said you need to shut your mouth and get back to work. You know, deal with the pain, move through it. So it kind of pulled the availability of seeking help out of the work that we did. My name is Tony Sandoval, and I work for your Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs under the Staff Sergeant Fox Suicide Prevention Grant Program, and work in Central Washington and Chelan, Douglas, Grant, and Kittitas counties to work with the population of veterans and their family members that might be experiencing suicidal ideation. When I'm working with some of these folks, veterans or their family members, they're in some pretty distressful situations. You know, we will send emergent situations to emergency, urgent to urgent, and then we're able to triage that on the backside, dealing with the great resources that we have in town, whether that's Central Washington Veterans Counseling or Wenatchee Community Acupuncture, Reuben Pine Jr., a Powerful Human, or Alethea Writing Center. We use all of our resources possible, VA healthcare, and so many more to try and get somebody to their nervous system to respond to, you know, normalizing help-seeking behavior. These are very difficult conversations because these traumas and different things have been 50 or 60 years born. Some people are just still dealing with it like it was yesterday, and some people don't even see that the trauma has caused their stuff. So there's always difficult conversations, and that's where I just kind of lean into the little experience that I have and the peer mentoring kind of model to say, you know, I don't want to do any harm here. I just want to be with you in this. And if there's some positive movement we can make, then let's do that. We want to build community around somebody. And I think when you can connect with somebody on that sort of level, a real level, and saying, are you considering or have you planned to take your own life? You know, that's a big question, and that's really challenging to do the closer you are to the person. But with a little bit of training and with just, you know, a heartfelt connection with somebody, I think you potentially be changing people's lives. If it's outside your scope of things to do, call a professional, call a friend, just make it aware to their community of people, and maybe there's somebody in that community will triage it. Saying nothing doesn't work, and that can ultimately lead to a really bad spot to deal with. What I think about the mental health situation, as far as from my state perspective, essentially is that I know that the VA healthcare is working on improving their standing, but they have not had somebody out there for a couple years as far as a mental health provider. I know that we have the federal side of Vet Center has started locating a provider here once or twice a month now, which is beneficial. Central Washington Veterans Counseling has just been, they've been our go-to and a stronghold for all services. But I think, as we were talking about earlier, I think that we have created a space in Central Washington to assist veterans and their families to come forward into the breach to start dealing with some of these traumas and heal from things. So I think it's a very robust system that needs more support, and we're going to continue to ask for more support so that we can have more people be available to this life-changing sort of services.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat. When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Wow, great view up Lake Wenatchee Way. Look at that. Looks like the ice is melting. I ask this question every year about this time. Lake Wenatchee usually freezes over. Certainly Fish Lake does. Lake Wenatchee's bigger, takes a little while. But it freezes over every winter, and then in the spring, or when it warms up anyway, the ice melts. But my question that I asked, I never got it answered. If you know the answer, send me an email. When the ice at Lake Wenatchee melts, does it melt from the bottom or from the top, or is it a combination of both? I don't know why I'm curious about it. I just am. That's up Lake Wenatchee Way here. The Wenatchee Valley is still pretty foggy, but it's starting to lift. It's starting to disperse a little bit. It's not nearly as dense as it was like an hour and a half ago, but there is still some patches of fog in many locations. Closer to the bodies of water that you are, the thicker and denser the fog is going to be. No real problems out in the Columbia Basin, which is normally prone to some serious freezing fog this time of the year. But that's not, it's okay. I checked. The camera is out in Moses Lake and Ephrata and Ritzville. It looks fine. You don't have any real visibility issues out there. Still some dense fog here in the Wenatchee Valley, but it ain't going to last very long because there's a big ridge of high pressure off the northern coast of California, and it's sending a bunch of mild and wet weather our way. The snow level is going to go way up over the weekend. Our temperature is going to warm way up. We're going to get to 43 today, which is right at normal. The last time our daily high temperature was at normal or above normal was February 2nd. Every day since February 3rd, our temperature, our high temperature each day has been below normal. We've done that now for 17 consecutive days. It's been a cold February. That is going to change a little bit today. It's going to cool down a little bit on Friday. But then starting Saturday, we're really going to see a warming trend and quite a bit of rain, which means all that melted snow and all that rain has to go somewhere. So if you live anywhere near a storm drain, make sure it's not covered in leaves or gunk or whatever, because all of that rainwater and melted snow has got to go someplace, and the last place you want it to go is in the basement of your house. So anyway, from the National Weather Service, the fog is still here. It's beginning to disperse. By mid to late morning, it'll be gone altogether. We'll see sunshine this afternoon and a high of 43, which is exactly normal. But it's going to feel pretty warm, isn't it? The clouds and the fog return tonight, 30 for the overnight low. It is not going to burn off on Friday. Friday looks cloudy all day. Slight chance of light rain with a high of 37. Pretty mild for the overnight low on Friday night. Warmer than normal, 33 as a matter of fact. And then we start talking about rain. Rain Saturday afternoon, rain Saturday night, dry Sunday morning, rain returns Sunday afternoon into Monday morning, and then we dry out a little bit by Tuesday and Wednesday, and a big-time warming trend. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Thursday. Start your weekend tomorrow with us at 7 a.m. Until then, bye-bye.